I mean, if we like crashed in the Andes,
Ooh.
I would hope that that you guys would feel okay if I died to feast.
They were
upon
giving permission. The later ones.
The later ones.
Like the very
if
last-
they were like
The very last one.
You want to?
So you're talking.
So
You're
we're
talking about the.
Yeah, you want
talking
to talk
it's
about?
crazy. It's obviously it's a remake of a real event, but the story or the movie was called Society in the Snow, and it's a redo of Alive.
Yeah,
which is a true story about some Uruguayan rugby team.
Yeah,
and a few passengers that were on like an airplane going to, I forget where they were going to, but they ended up crashing in the Andes.
Yeah.
And they ended up surviving out there. The ones who did survive the crash ended up staying alive out there for 72 days before they got rescued.
That's crazy.
In the worst condition, in Kansas City conditions, you know, minus Taylor
for
Swift.
real. What degrees is it?
No Travis Kelce.
Minus Taylor Swift.
Minus Taylor
No.
Swift. Yeah, but it was crazy. It was the I've never heard that story, and it's insane because they ultimately started eating the deceased to sustain
survive
life because I think they probably went like 2-3 weeks without food or very minimal.
So eating like crackers,
and then they started
airplane
eating
snacks.
Yeah,
they were trying to nibble like on cigarettes.
Yeah,
one dude picked a scab off the homie and ate that.
It's just like beef jerky.
I know
the problem is.
I know like in snares too when people throw like with the leather because there's protein to be pulled from leather. So
But what was crazy is 2 dudes ended up hiking. It was like 38 miles, it said, over 12 days, and got rescued in Chile. And then they took a helicopter and got to the other ones.
That's also amazing that they could find their way back to where they were, like, you know, because no one knows where they are.
And they were in man-made gear. Like, they made little goggle thingies. They were in like layers of clothing. And they were all well under like 30 years old.
I wonder what their body weight was like before and after.
Oh, there's pictures because like a couple of them had cameras and like they insisted on them taking cameras. And from the stuff I was reading, they said that the director of the new one was pretty adamant of staying correct. So I'm assuming that there's these pictures out in real life.
Yeah. Did they have anything at the end of the new Netflix episode? Like
they did, but I feel like they were respectful and didn't show the real ones, but did a dramatization because they showed stills.
Yeah,
but it was the actors.
Okay. Crazy.
So I'm assuming
because I have seen the photos from the actual live ones, and like they're just like sitting out on the plane,
broken plane, yeah,
and they're just hanging. And like, what do? You just sit out there, and like you could see that they were like smoking, and like there was some of the photos, like I don't know if they're smiles, but a sense of trying to stay upbeat.
One of the dude was trying to make them smile for all the photos, and this is before they even thought they had a chance to get out, and they're just like, for what? He's like, these are for our families, man. Like. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a crazy story. If you guys haven't heard about it, do check it out. Shows you the will of human beings,
indomitable human spirit.
It's just great, man. It's great to be alive, man. It's great
to be a person. That's funny. On that kind of note, I read this report on. It was like an older report, I think 2003 to 2013. Do you know Jamestown, like John Smith, Pocahontas type of shit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
So that settlement, like. They ultimately got wiped out, but they found evidence of also like cannibalism for staying alive because when they first landed, they relied on trade with the
Lewis and Clark.
No. This is Jamestown. Like I don't know how you pronounce it. It's like Powhatan tribe. The Jamestown settlement relied on trade with them, like just for everything. So they didn't really dig deep into agriculture.
This be around right now, like what part? I know it would be East Coast, but
Virginia. So like they relied on that, and when the winter came, they didn't really have any like survival skills. They didn't have anything like no stores built up because the tribe that they were dealing with, they were like, we only have enough to keep ourselves fed. So eventually, I think a lot of them died, but then they found evidence of like I think it was like a 15-year-old girl was like in a cellar and her body was like butchered, and you could see like certain marks on her skull that
Serrations
was
on
like
the skull.
that were indicative of like her actually being like cut, but like it showed that people didn't know how to take the meat off the bone of like a human because they're like not used to eating humans, I guess.
Yeah.